welcome to Growing Younger podcast, where we guide you through your journey of reaching your fitness goals after 40.
Hello guys, so the topic of today's podcast is going to be the 5 time-proven strategies to make 2026 a success. Finally, to make it a success at achieving your fitness goals, particularly if you are over 40. So my name is Alex Blazewski. I'm a physiotherapist and a co-founder of the Growing Younger fitness program. And so that will be, I'm going to break down the 5 things that we often use with our members at Growing Younger to help them achieve their fitness goals and to lead them to success. Okay, so number 1 is going to be goals. Okay, so I'm not going to say just set goals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go a bit deeper. Okay, so I don't believe that setting general outcome-based goals is very effective. So let me explain what I mean. So for example, your goal might be to lose a bit of weight. So you might say, I want to lose 10 kilos. Now, unfortunately, you don't have very good control of that outcome because that depends on a number of factors. What you eat, how much you exercise, your daily habits, all that kind of stuff. So in order for you to lose the weight effectively, what you need to do is you need to set your daily habitual or behavioral goals. Okay, so what that would sound like is, so the goal could be doing some physical exercise or physical training 3 times a week. Okay, so let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you exercise. Or another behavior goal could be, you're going to start tracking your calories, or having at least try to sort of target your step count of minimum of 7,000 or 8,000 steps a day. So that's something you can actually control. That is something you can affect. And ultimately, this, if you stick to it long enough, it will lead you to losing weight. Now, if your goal is not losing weight, you can apply this to any fitness goal. So if you want to get stronger, if you want to get fitter, if you want to improve your confidence, so instead of saying, I want to get stronger, you could say, I'm going to do some strength training at least 2 or 3 times a week. And preferably you want to specify what days of the week, specifically exactly when you're going to train. And maybe another behavioral goal, it could be in ensuring that you have enough protein in your daily meals. So those are the things you can actually control on a day-to-day basis, and therefore most of the time it leads to a better outcome at the end of the day. Okay, so strategy number two is emphasize consistency over intensity. So especially as we cross the 40 mark, especially 50, our bodies change. Okay, so I'm sure you would have noticed that your body does not respond to exercise or physical strain the same way it used to in your 20s. So smashing your body is not necessarily helpful. Okay, and that is something that we see a lot in our fitness program, is that people one day they get motivated, they decide, yep, I'm gonna get fit. So they embark on the fitness journey, and on day 1 they just absolutely overdo it. They become too eager. They do the exercises that they used to be able to do in their 20s, but it's just too much, and their body becomes sore. Quite often it leads to an injury. They get discouraged, and it pretty much leads to failure. Okay, so what I suggest you do instead is build a plan, and you just need to start slow. Okay, you just need to start. Okay, so if you haven't exercised in months or years, your first couple of sessions they need to be very gentle, just to kind of test your body, see what it can cope with. Now, rather than going really hard and intense, just the consistency is much more important. So you can push yourself a little bit harder as you go, but start with light workouts, and then emphasize consistency, regularity. So you need to make sure that you do your exercises often enough over a long enough period of time to actually make a difference. So smashing your body once every couple of weeks is not nearly as effective as doing light workouts 3 or 4 times a week, or whatever it is for you. Okay, so consistency over intensity always wins. We see it all the time, and it is especially important as people get a bit older. Okay, so find a workout that fits your body, that is suitable for your current level of fitness. And look, if you do feel stuck, consulting with a personal trainer who actually understands people over 40 would probably be quite helpful for you. Look, guys, hope you enjoyed the podcast. Look, I have a little favor to ask you. If you know someone who this podcast could be useful for, I would really appreciate if you share this podcast with them. It would help them, but also it would help me grow the channel as well. Now, strategy number 3 is nutrition. So what I recommend you do with nutrition is just simplify it, okay? Because there's just so much information overload, and quite often this information is it's a hype, it's false. A lot of information that you see on social media, all these wonder diets that are supposed to do this or that to your body in a magic way, a lot of them are simply not true. They don't work the same way they advertise. Okay, so keep it simple. Most people know that you just have to reduce your calories to lose weight if that's what you're trying to do. If you're trying to build muscle, you need to have enough protein in your nutrition, in your diet. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, so you don't need to get involved in any sort of unusual exotic diets that promise you some unbelievable results. Okay, so keep it simple. And look, you don't need perfection to get results. Okay, don't get discouraged if over a couple of days you go off the track a little bit. It's okay. If you stick to your plan 80% of the time, that usually is good enough to get you to your goal. Okay, so you do not need to be perfect. Just stick to your plan as much as you can. And if you have a bad 1 or 2 days, that's okay. Just get back on track as soon as possible. Don't punish yourself too hard. Keep it simple. Number 4 is it comes back to an old saying that your environment is stronger than your power of will. It is so true. We are all humans. We do get influenced by our environment, whether it's people around us or being exposed to bad habits or seeing the junk food in our kitchen cupboard all the time. It's not helpful. Okay, so what you need to do is stack the cards in your favor. Make your environment help you. So remove all the junk food from your kitchen cupboard. Hang around with people that have similar goals as you. Keep yourself away from negative people. If you are starting a gym, if starting to go to the gym, pack your gym bag the night before so it's all ready to go the following day when it's time to go to the gym. So you see, you optimize your environment to remove as much friction as possible to make it as easy as possible to stick to your fitness goals. Okay, so the fitness goals that we discussed in number 1, whatever it is for you, reducing calories, working out more frequently, just plan it and remove as much friction from your day-to-day life as possible so that you can stick to your goals, stick to your plan as easy as it can be. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Now, number 5, the final strategy that I dare you to implement is going to be measuring your progress. Okay, so just depending on what your goal is, but I think at least monthly, maybe every fortnight. If it's strengthening, if it is balance training, if it is losing a bit of excess weight, check on your progress, because if you follow the other 4 strategies, sooner or later you will start to see a positive change. I pretty much guarantee you. Okay, as long as you stick to it long enough to see a change, you will see a change. Now, when you start to see results, something magic happens. Your motivation levels go up. You start to actually look forward to having a workout or to eating healthier. You no longer crave the bad, fatty foods that you used to love. So keeping track of your results is very, very important, particularly when it comes to motivation, to keeping your motivation alive. Now, when it comes to tracking your progress, if you're trying to lose weight, definitely do check in on your, with the scales, okay? But you may also want to track other metrics. Say, for example, you could actually track your body measurements, such as the measuring, using the measuring tape to measure around your belly button, sort of midsection. Maybe it's just measuring your progress by just checking in how many healthy meals you've had this week. There's many metrics that you should be using, not just the scales, because let's face it, the scales can take a few weeks to move before you start to see the change in your kilos. Okay, there's a number of reasons for that, but when you start exercising, you might be building a bit of muscle and you're losing a bit of fat, but because muscle kind of compensates for the loss of fat, the actual weight may not change much the first 3 or 4 weeks. So sometimes people see no change on the scales in the first month and they get discouraged. They think that whatever they're doing is not working, so they give up. Okay, so that's why I encourage you not just to use the scales, but also use other metrics, such as your body measurements, such as circumference around your belly, or maybe just tracking how many healthy meals you've had or how many workouts you've had. Just find something else to track, just to make sure that you stay on track. Okay, so look, guys, these are the 5 strategies that we often use at Growing Younger to help our clients, and trust me, they work. The question is whether you're going to work them. Okay, if you need to, go over the 5 steps or the 5 strategies and implement one at a time, and you will see your body, your mind, your confidence improve in 2026. All right, all the best for now, and I will speak to you on the next podcast.